Colonel Marcus Webb watched the enemy ships fall from the sky like burning metal birds. The metal birds were large and angry. They cut through the air and left burning trails behind them. Marcus stood at the window of the command center and could see everything. The colony was dying. The soldiers around him knew it. The machines and computers beeped and made noise, but everyone knew the truth. They were losing this war. The Xylothian aliens had come 3 months ago and never stopped attacking. They came from deep space with weapons that burned and destroyed everything. The colony had good guns and good walls, but the aliens had better weapons and more ships. The aliens did not stop. They did not get tired. They just kept coming. Marcus was a soldier who had fought many wars. He was strong and smart and never gave up. But he understood what it meant when the enemy kept coming and your walls kept breaking. It meant the end was coming soon. It meant this would be the last fight. Emma Chun was a child who lived in the shelter beneath the command center. She was 7 years old and small and quiet. Emma had golden skin and dark eyes. She did not cry much anymore. She had learned that crying did not change anything. Her mother was far away in the mountains, leading other soldiers. Her mother wanted Emma to stay alive. Emma wanted to see her mother again. Marcus went down to the shelter. Emma was sitting and drawing pictures on a device that did not work very well. The power was broken in many places in the colony. Emma drew a picture of her mother and a tree. Marcus looked at her and felt something hard inside his chest. He did not want this child to die. "Emma, listen to me," Marcus said. He knelt down so his face was level with hers. "We have to go soon. We have to leave this place. When we go, there will be loud noise and fire. There will be scary things. I need you to hold my hand and not let go. Can you do that?" Emma looked at him with her big dark eyes. She did not ask many questions. The occupation had taught her to be brave. She nodded and took his hand. Marcus brought her to a deep place beneath the ground. The place was hidden and secret. Dr. Sarah Alconquo was waiting there. Sarah was an old doctor with gray hair and serious eyes. She held a needle that was filled with liquid that glowed. The liquid was strange and blue like nothing natural. "You know what this will do?" Sarah asked him. "Yes," Marcus said. "Make me stronger. Make me into something different. Make you into something not human," Sarah said. She was not being cruel. She was being truthful. "You will not look like a man anymore. You will not think like a man anymore. You will become a tool, a weapon. I will become a shield for Emma," Marcus said. "That is what matters." Sarah put the needle into his arm. The liquid went into his blood. At first, nothing happened. Marcus stood there. Then his body started to change. His muscles got bigger and harder. His bones became thick and strong like metal. His teeth got longer. His hands changed shape. His eyes got different. They became eyes that could see in the dark. It hurt very much, but Marcus did not cry out. He understood that pain was just information about his body changing. He understood that this was the price of keeping Emma alive. When it was done, Marcus looked at his hands. They were not human hands anymore. They were the hands of something else. A hunter. A killer. He went back up to get Emma. The child looked at his face and did not turn away. Other children would have screamed. Emma just studied him carefully. "Are you still you?" she asked. "Yes," Marcus said. It was true. He was still himself. Just more. Just harder. Just faster. Just willing to do things the old Marcus would never have done. The explosion started in the command center above them. The aliens were breaking through the walls with their big weapons. Marcus could hear the sound of metal breaking and people screaming. He could hear the click-click-click sound of alien weapons firing. "We have to go now," Marcus said. He took Emma's hand. Her small hand was warm and trusting. She was not afraid of what he had become. She was afraid of dying, yes, but not of him. The tunnels beneath the colony were dark and long. Marcus could see perfectly in the darkness. His eyes showed him walls and pipes and the ways forward. His ears heard things that human ears could not hear. He heard the aliens moving above them. He heard their machines breaking the colony into pieces. Emma walked fast for a small child. Marcus could have carried her, but she wanted to walk beside him. She wanted to hold his hand and feel safe. Marcus let her walk because he understood that children needed to feel some control. They needed to walk towards safety instead of being carried like things with no choice. Behind them, the command center fell down. The walls broke and the fire spread everywhere. Dr. Sarah Okonkwo died in that fire. She stayed in her post and made sure the aliens could not find the research that made Marcus what he was. She understood that what she had created needed to live. She understood that Emma needed to live. So she died alone in the fire. Marcus and Emma went through the tunnels faster and faster. They could hear the aliens searching above them, but the tunnels were deep and hidden. The aliens could not find them. Marcus knew where to go. His animal instincts told him which ways led to safety and which ways led to danger. Emma did not ask many questions. Sometimes she said, "Are we okay?" And Marcus said, "Yes." Sometimes she said, "Is my mother still out there?" And Marcus said, "Yes, we are going to her." As they walked through the darkness, Marcus understood what he had done. He had given up his human life. He had given up his human face. He had given up the hope of ever being normal. But Emma was alive. Emma was safe. Emma would get to her mother. That was all that mattered now. The tunnels went down deeper into the earth. Marcus followed the ways he did not know before, guided by his new instincts. Emma followed behind him, her small hand in his changed hand. The old Marcus Webb was dead. He had died in Dr. Sarah's medical chamber. What walked through the tunnels now was something new. Something hard. Something that would kill anything that tried to stop him. The honey badger had woken up inside him, and it was ready to protect the child at any cost. The tunnel system beneath the colony stretched for many kilometers. It was built long ago when humans first settled this planet. The tunnels were deep and dark and went in many directions. Marcus moved through them like an animal that knew every corner and every hidden place. Emma followed him without making noise. Her small feet went fast on the stone floor. She was tired, but she did not complain. Children who complain die in wars. Emma knew this. She was only 7, but she understood survival. The first aliens they met were 3 tall creatures in the passage to the east. The creatures called themselves Xylothian warriors, but humans just called them the aliens. These 3 were covered in hard shell armor and carried weapons that burned with hot plasma. They were strong and tall and mean. Marcus stopped walking. He set Emma down very gently in a space between 2 big pipes. The space was dark and hidden. Emma could hide there and not be seen. "Stay here," Marcus said. His voice was different now. It was deeper and had a hard sound to it. "Do not move. Do not make any noise. I will come back." Emma nodded. She did not ask questions. She understood what was happening. She understood that Marcus was going to fight the aliens. She was scared, but she did not show it. Marcus walked out into the open passage where the aliens could see him. The aliens turned their heads fast when they saw movement. Their weapons came up. Their eyes, which were not really eyes, began to glow with red light. One of the aliens fired its weapon. The plasma bolt came at Marcus like a line of pure heat and fire. The heat was so strong it would burn a normal human into nothing but ash and bone. Marcus did not burn. He moved very fast to the side. His new body was fast like nothing human could be fast. The plasma went past him and burned the wall behind him. The stone wall cracked and melted from the heat. Marcus ran at the alien that fired. He ran like an animal runs at something to kill. The alien was surprised. Its weapons were made for fighting at distance. They were not made for close fighting. The alien tried to fire again, but Marcus was already inside the range where plasma would help it. Marcus used his hands and his teeth. His teeth were long and sharp now. The alien made a sound that was not a scream. It was a sound no human had ever heard. The other two aliens fired at Marcus, but their dead friend was in the way. Their friend was dead, but still made a good shield. Marcus took the weapon from the second alien. He used it on the alien that held it. Then he used it on the third alien too. 2 shots from a Xylothian weapon. 2 dead aliens. The passage was quiet. Only Marcus's breathing made noise. He was cut and bleeding from the fight, but his body was already healing. The wounds closed up fast. The blood stopped flowing. His muscles pushed the pieces back together. Marcus got Emma from her hiding place. She looked at the dead aliens and did not say anything. Emma was learning that the world was full of dead things now. This was not good, but this was what happened when aliens came to kill you. They moved deeper into the tunnel system. Marcus took paths that went north and east. He was using his new senses to know which way was right. His nose could smell where the aliens had been. His ears could hear where they were now. His mind could feel which way meant survival and which way meant death. For 3 days, they walked through tunnels. Sometimes they saw alien patrols. Sometimes Marcus fought them. Sometimes Marcus took Emma around them using ways the aliens did not know about. Marcus got better at fighting with each battle. He learned what the aliens did. He learned their weapons. He learned their weak places. Emma got more tired, but she kept walking. Her feet hurt, but she did not stop. One night when they rested in a tunnel that had no exits for miles, she asked Marcus a question. "Are you changing more?" She said, "Yes," Marcus said. He was honest with her about the changes. His face looked less human every day. His teeth were getting longer. His eyes could now see colors that no human eyes could see. His body was stronger and faster and meaner. "Does it hurt?" Emma asked. "Not anymore," Marcus said. This was true. The pain had stopped. The changes just happened, now like his body knew what it needed to do. "Will you ever be like you were before?" Emma asked. "No," Marcus said. "I will be like this now. Forever like this." Emma thought about this. Then she said, "That is okay. You are still protecting me. That is what matters." 4 days into their journey, the tunnel system ended. They came out into the upper world through an opening that was covered in dead plants and broken metal. The sun was high and bright. It hurt Marcus's new eyes, so he covered them with his hand. Around them was a destroyed world. The alien ships had come and burned everything. Buildings were broken and pushed over. Trees were burned black. The ground was full of holes where weapons had hit. But far away to the north, Marcus could see mountains. The mountains were still green. The mountains were still alive. Emma's mother was somewhere in those mountains. "We have to cross open ground now," Marcus said. "The aliens control the sky. If we move in the open, they can see us." They moved through the ruins of destroyed towns. Marcus used the broken buildings as cover. He moved between shadows. He taught Emma to move the way he moved. She was small and could fit in places bigger people could not fit. The aliens noticed them after 5 days in the open ruins. They began to send hunters after them. Not regular soldiers, but special hunters that were faster and meaner and smarter. Marcus fought the hunters in the ruins. He fought them between broken walls and under collapsed roofs. One hunter was very large and very mean, but Marcus killed it anyway. Marcus was learning to use his new body. Like the body was teaching him what it could do. Emma watched her protector fight things that could kill her with one blow. She watched him get hit by weapons and keep fighting. She watched him bleed and heal and continue on like the damage meant nothing. She understood then that Marcus was not just a man anymore. He was not a tool. He was a guardian who could not be stopped. Every day the mountains got bigger. Every day they got closer to the Resistance and Emma's mother. Every day Marcus got stronger and less human and more like a creature that would protect the small girl no matter what. On the 10th day, they reached the high ground that looked down on the mountain valley. Marcus could see the waterfalls that Emma had described. 2 waterfalls falling into a dark valley where human soldiers waited. They were going to make it. The honey badger and the child were going to reach safety, but that was when Marcus saw the new ships come down from the sky. More aliens, more weapons, and one of the ships had the mark of a general on it. The real battle was about to begin. General Vorn was a warrior who had conquered many worlds. He was very large and very smart. His armor was covered in medals that meant he had won every battle he had ever fought. Vorn had never lost. Vorn did not know how to lose. So when he received reports about a single human soldier destroying patrol groups, he decided to come see this problem for himself. Vorn came with many ships and many warriors. He came with weapons that could destroy mountains. He came ready to crush whatever was making trouble for the Xyle army. He studied the reports about the dead aliens and the destroyed equipment. He studied the maps of the mountain region. He began to make a plan to trap his prey. Vorn decided to make a circle around the mountain area. He would put his warriors at many points in a large circle. Then he would make the circle smaller and smaller, like closing a fist, like crushing something between the hands. The human would have nowhere to go. The human would be trapped, and then dead. Marcus did not know about this plan yet. Marcus only knew that he had to get Emma down into the valley before the new ships could trap them. He took Emma off the high ground and started to move down the mountain slopes. But the aliens were already everywhere. The first hint came when Marcus saw the patrols in new formations. They were not moving randomly like before. They were moving like a machine. They were organized and smart. They were cutting off the ways forward. Marcus changed direction and took Emma toward the west. But there were more patrols in the west. He went north and found patrols in the north too. The aliens had made a net, and Marcus was inside it. Marcus understood what this meant. The Xylothian general had arrived. The general was smart, like Marcus was learning to be smart. The general was using numbers instead of strength. The general was trying to trap Marcus between many points, so Marcus could not win by fighting. Marcus made a new plan. He would go up into the highest mountains where the air was thin and cold. The aliens did not like thin air. The aliens did not like cold. The mountains would be harder for them. For 2 days, Marcus and Emma climbed the mountains. Emma was very tired now. Her legs hurt and her feet hurt and she was cold. But she did not stop walking. She held Marcus's hand and climbed, because stopping meant the aliens would catch them and Emma would die. On the 3rd day, the artillery weapons started. The Xylothian general had put heavy weapons on the surrounding mountains. These weapons fired energy bolts that were bigger than cars. They hit the ground and made explosions that could destroy everything. Marcus and Emma were walking through a narrow valley when one of the explosions happened very close. The sound was so loud that Emma screamed. The heat was so strong that it burned the skin on Marcus's back and arms. His clothes burned away and fell down like ash. But Marcus did not stop. He covered Emma with his body so the heat would not reach her. She was safe under him. The pain was very big, but pain was just information. Pain meant his body was working. Pain meant he was alive. When the explosion stopped, Marcus looked at Emma. She was crying now. She was terrified. She thought they were going to die. Marcus knew he had to do something. He had to show Emma that he was not human anymore. He had to show her that the fear was not needed, that he was strong enough for both of them. "I am going to change," Marcus said to her. "I am going to show you what I really am now. I want you to understand why you can trust me." Over the next hours, Marcus's transformation completed. His face became less human and more animal. His teeth became fangs. His eyes became the eyes of a predator. His body became more like the body of a creature that was made to fight and win. When it was done, Marcus was not a man anymore. He was a thing, a dangerous thing, a killing thing. Emma looked at this creature that was not a man anymore. A normal child would have run away screaming. But Emma just asked one question. "Are you stronger like this?" She said, "Much stronger," Marcus said. "Then that is good," Emma said. "You need to be strong to keep me safe." And she took the hand of the monster, and they kept walking. General Vorn's forces closed in tighter. Vorn had his hunters and his soldiers go into the mountains. They fired from above. They fired from below. They fired from all directions, trying to force Marcus toward places where other weapons waited. Marcus began to show why. Vorn was wrong about this war. Marcus stopped running away. Marcus started to move toward the hunters. Marcus fought the Xylothian creatures in the narrow passages between rocks. Marcus killed hunters that were stronger than the regular soldiers. Marcus took their weapons and used the weapons on other hunters. And Marcus learned. With each fight, Marcus got smarter about how to fight. He learned that the aliens had weak places in their armor. He learned that the aliens thought like machines and made predictable choices. He learned that he was faster and more mean and more willing to do terrible things to win. Emma watched her protector become something that was no longer trying to hide what it was. She watched him fight creatures that had weapons that burned things to ash. She watched him bleed and burn and continue. She watched him transform from a man protecting a child into a monster protecting a child. But she was not afraid. She understood that the monster was the only reason she was still alive. General Vorn began to understand this too. He received reports that his hunters were dead. His soldiers were dead. His weapons were not working the way weapons should work. One creature was doing this. One creature was beating an army. Most generals would have moved to the next plan. Most generals would have sent more ships and more weapons and more soldiers. But General Vorn had never lost a war. And Vorn understood that this creature was learning from each fight. The creature was getting better and stronger and meaner. Vorn understood that numbers might not be enough. So Vorn made a new decision. Vorn decided to fight this creature himself. Marcus saw the signal when Vorn's ship landed in the valley below. A big ship. A general ship. Marcus understood what this meant. The general was coming. The strongest warrior was coming. The leader of the army that was trying to kill Emma was coming to kill them with his own hands. Marcus took Emma to the ruins of an old human settlement that was built between the mountain peaks. He put Emma in a shelter under the ground. He sealed the entrance so nothing could get to her. Then Marcus walked out to meet the general, who had never lost a war. Marcus was no longer human. Marcus was hard and mean and ready to kill. But Marcus was also ready to die if that was what it took to protect Emma. The monster and the general were about to meet, and one of them would not survive the day. General Vorn stood in the ruins of the human settlement and waited. He was 3 meters tall. His armor was covered with weapons and technology that humans did not understand. His arms had metal in them that made them stronger. His armor could not be broken by regular weapons. Vorn had won every war and killed every enemy. Vorn was death walking in armor. Marcus walked out of the shadows toward the general. Marcus was not human anymore. His body was hard and mean and full of muscle. His teeth were long and sharp. His eyes were bright and cold and full of killing instinct. Marcus was what humans created when they were desperate and willing to do anything to survive. Vorn looked at Marcus and felt something he had never felt before. It was not quite fear. It was not quite doubt. It was something that said this fight would not be easy. "I am General Vorn," the Zilothian said. His voice was like metal grinding on stone. "I have conquered 7 star systems. I have killed 1,000 enemies. I have never lost. You are about to die." Marcus did not talk. There was nothing to say. The fight had to happen because Emma was alive, and General Vorn wanted her dead. Vorn attacked first. His metal arm came at Marcus like a weapon. The force was so strong it could punch through steel. Marcus moved, and the punch hit the ground. The ground cracked and broke from the impact. Marcus attacked back. He used his teeth and his claws. The metal armor blocked most of the damage, but Marcus was learning. Marcus was seeing where the armor was weak. Marcus was seeing where the joints connected. Marcus was figuring out how to hurt something that could not be hurt. They fought for a long time. The battle destroyed the ruins around them. Walls fell. Ground broke open. Fire spread across the area. Vorn's weapons were good. Vorn shot at Marcus, and the energy bolts burned him. But Marcus healed. The burns closed up, and Marcus kept fighting. Vorn's strength was good. Vorn hit Marcus with blows that broke bones. But Marcus got back up and kept fighting. What Vorn did not understand was that Marcus was not fighting just to win. Marcus was fighting because Emma was alive somewhere underneath the ground. Every time Marcus almost fell, he thought about Emma. Every time pain was too much, he thought about her dark eyes and her brave heart. Every time he wanted to stop, he remembered that she had chosen to trust him. Marcus began to win the fight that had happened slowly. Marcus learned the pattern of Vorn's attacks. Marcus learned that Vorn was confident because Vorn had never lost. Confidence made Vorn careless. Confidence made Vorn make mistakes. And Marcus was learning to punish mistakes. Marcus found a place where Vorn's armor did not connect right. It was a small space, but it was there. It was at the side where the metal pieces met the body underneath. Vorn tried a big attack. Vorn tried to end the fight with one killing blow. He moved forward and opened his armor for just a moment. It was the moment Marcus had been waiting for. It was the moment all the fighting had been building toward. Marcus moved fast and hit that weak place. Vorn made a sound that was not a roar or a scream. It was the sound of a creature that understood it was about to die. General Vorn, who had conquered 7 star systems, fell down in the dust, but the victory had cost Marcus everything. He was broken. He was burned. He was bleeding from 100 places. His regeneration was working, but not fast enough. The damage was too much. Marcus collapsed. He fell down next to the body of the general. He could not move anymore. He could not fight anymore. His body was broken beyond what even his healing could fix in time. He knew he was about to die. Then Emma broke through the door of her shelter. The child should have stayed hidden. The child should have waited until help came. But Emma had heard the fighting. Emma had heard the sounds of the battle. And Emma understood that her protector was in trouble. Emma walked across the broken ground toward the collapsed form of Marcus. She was small and fragile, and the most important person in Marcus's entire existence. "You are falling," Emma said simply. She put her small hands on Marcus's face. Those hands, warm and small and full of human kindness, did something to Marcus that nothing else could do. Those hands told Marcus that the transformation was not a curse. Those hands told Marcus that being a monster was okay if the monster protected someone you loved. Those hands told Marcus that his sacrifice meant something. Marcus's healing accelerated. His body worked faster and stronger and better. The wounds closed. The bones healed. The burns faded. By midnight, Marcus was standing again. The Xylothian forces around them had fallen into confusion. Without General Vorn to give orders, the warriors did not know what to do. The hunters stopped hunting. The soldiers stopped fighting. They stood around the body of their dead general and tried to understand how this was possible. Then the human resistance fighters came out of the mountains. They came with weapons and soldiers and the knowledge that the general was dead. The Xylothian forces retreated. They left the colony to the humans. Marcus stood in the dust and looked at Emma. She was looking at him with those big, dark eyes that had trusted him from the beginning. She was not afraid of what he looked like now. She was not afraid of the monster. She was proud of the monster because the monster had saved her life. "We did it," Emma said. "We survived." "Yes," Marcus said. His voice was rough and animal now. It was not the voice of a man. It was the voice of something that had made a choice to become terrible so that a child could live. The resistance fighters approached them carefully. They did not know what Marcus was. They did not know that this creature had killed a Xylothian general alone. But they could see Emma walking beside it with trust on her face. Emma said, "This is Marcus Webb. He is my protector. He killed the general to save me." And the human soldiers understood that sometimes salvation comes from the monsters we create. Sometimes the only thing that can save you is something terrible and beautiful, and willing to destroy itself for someone else. Marcus had lost his humanity to save Emma's life. And in doing so, he had become more human than he had ever been. 5 years after the death of General Vorn, Emma Chun sat in a classroom in the mountain settlement. She was 12 years old now. She was smart and brave and did not flinch from difficult things. Around her, other children studied maps and history and science. The Xylothian ships had left the colony after their general died. The aliens did not understand defeat. They did not know how to continue fighting after their leader fell. They retreated to their own space and left the humans to rebuild. Emma walked home from school through the streets of the mountain settlement. The settlement had been built strong and high on the mountain slopes. Walls surrounded it. Weapons sat on the walls. The humans remembered that the universe was dangerous and they would never be weak again. At the edge of the settlement, Marcus waited for her. Marcus looked different now than he had looked 5 years ago. He looked less like the creature that had killed General Vorn. His appearance had settled into something that was not human, but not completely animal. His face had a shape that was somewhere between man and predator. His eyes were bright and clear. His strength was calm and patient. Now Emma saw Marcus and smiled. She walked faster to reach him. Other children stopped and stared. They did not understand what Marcus was. Their parents had told them not to be scared, but children sometimes did not listen to their parents. Emma did not care what other children thought. Emma had been carried through tunnels by this creature. Emma had watched this creature bleed and heal and continue fighting when continuing meant certain pain. Emma had put her hands on the face of the monster and felt gratitude that she was alive. "How was school?" Marcus asked. "Good," Emma said. "We studied the history of the occupation. The teacher said that we survived because of human strength. But I know the truth. We survived because of you." "You survived because you were brave," Marcus said. "You survived because you kept walking when your legs hurt. You survived because you trusted me when I looked like something to fear." They walked together through the settlement. Sometimes people stared at Marcus. Sometimes people whispered about what he was. Marcus did not care about the whispers. He had a purpose. Emma was alive. That was all that mattered. One day, Emma brought a friend to meet Marcus. The friend was nervous and scared. Emma explained who Marcus was and what he had done. She explained that he had killed the general to save her. She explained that his strange appearance was not something to be afraid of. "He looks different than the aliens," the friend said. "He is different than everyone," Emma said. "That is the point. He became what he needed to be to save me. And now he stays what he is because we need him to stay what he is." Years passed. Emma became a teenager and then a young woman. She grew up in the mountain settlement where humans were rebuilding civilization. She learned leadership. She learned to think about what was good for her people. She learned that sometimes the cost of survival was very high. Emma's mother found her when Emma was 10 years old. Emma's mother had been leading the resistance in the mountains. She had hoped that her daughter was alive somewhere. When she found Emma alive and healthy and living with a creature that had once been human, she wept. She wept because Emma was alive. She wept because her daughter had been saved by something terrible and beautiful. She wept because the cost of saving Emma had transformed Marcus Webb into something that would never be human again. Emma's mother bowed to Marcus with great respect. She understood that he had given everything so that her daughter could live. Marcus accepted the bow with the calm of something that had made peace with what it was done. By the time Emma was 30 years old, she had become a leader in the settlement. She made decisions that affected hundreds of people. She worked to make sure that humans did not forget what had happened. She worked to make sure that the sacrifices of people like Marcus Webb were remembered and honored. Marcus remained at the edge of the settlement. He remained a protector. He remained a guardian. He remained something that was not quite animal and not quite human. His regenerative abilities meant that he did not age like normal creatures aged. But his mind was tired. He had been fighting and protecting for a long time. One evening, Emma went to find Marcus at his post at the edge of the settlement. They stood together looking out at the stars. The stars were the same stars that had been there during the occupation. But the meaning of the stars had changed. The humans knew now that they were not alone in the universe. The humans knew now that they could survive against impossible odds. "Do you regret it?" Emma asked. "Do you regret becoming what you are?" Marcus thought about this question for a long time. He thought about the pain of the transformation. He thought about the loss of his human face. He thought about the killing and the fighting and the terrible things he had been forced to do. "I regret my own fear," he said finally. "When I was first changed, I was afraid of what I had become. I thought the change was a curse. But I understand now that the change was a choice. I chose to become this so that you could live. Every change was worth it because it meant you lived." Emma understood this. She had always understood this. She put her head on Marcus's shoulder, even though his shoulder was hard and strange and not human-shaped. "You gave up everything," Emma said. "No," Marcus said. "I gave up my human shape, but I kept what was important. I kept my purpose. I kept my duty to you. I kept my will to protect someone I care about." The shield remained at the edge of the settlement. The shield was strong and patient and willing to suffer any harm to keep the colony safe. Inside the shield, humans lived their lives and built their future and remembered what had been sacrificed so they could exist. Emma-chan grew older. She had her own children. She told them stories about the man who became a monster to save a child. She told them that sometimes the most human thing a person could do was become something less human in appearance, but more human in purpose. The settlement grew and became strong. The walls got better. The weapons got stronger. The humans did not forget how close they had come to death. They did not forget what it meant to be protected by something terrible and beautiful. And at the edge of the settlement, Marcus remained. No longer a man. No longer completely animal. Something in between. Something that had made a choice to become terrible so that something precious could survive. The honey badger had kept its promise. The child had lived. The shield had remained true to what it was. And in a universe that was full of danger and darkness, One creature had proven that sacrifice meant something. That transformation could be beautiful. That becoming a monster could be the most human choice of all. The shield remained. And always it would remain.